So today's topic is sum of n terms of a GP. Let's start. Sum of n terms of a GP. So sum of n terms of a GP, the formula is a little bit different from sum of n terms of an AP. If you remember the formula for sum of n terms of an AP, it was S of n is equal to n by 2 bracket 2a plus n minus 1d. But here sum of n terms of a GP depends on the value of R, right? See, now there are three cases which you have to study. If R or common ratio is 1, case 1, okay, I'm going to take as case 1 as when R is equal to 1. Sum of n terms of a GP will be A plus A into R plus A into R raised to 2 plus A into R cube and so on up to A into R raised to n minus 1. Right? Now if you make R 1 in all the terms, 1 raised to anything will give you 1. So that is nothing but A plus A plus A plus A plus A. How many times? N times. So which is nothing but n multiplied by A. So remember, sum of n terms of a GP when R is equal to 1 is n times A, n multiplied by A. Case 2, this is the first formula, okay? This is the first formula for sum of n terms of a GP. Now I'll show you second formula, case 2. When mod of R is smaller than 1. Now what do you mean by this mod? This vertical lines, do you see this vertical lines? Inside these vertical lines, this is known as modulus. This is a sign of modulus. So modulus is a term which means that whatever number you put within the vertical bars, within the modulus sign, it becomes positive. So even if R, your common ratio, is negative and you put it within the modulus bar, it will become positive. But this positive value of R should be smaller than 1. Means mod of R should be smaller than 1. Whenever mod of R is smaller than 1, the formula for sum of n terms will become, I'm directly giving you the formula, not the derivation. Derivation part is not there in your syllabus. I'm directly giving you the formula so you don't get confused. A bracket 1 minus R raised to n upon 1 minus R. A bracket 1 minus R raised to n upon the whole upon 1 minus R. And there is a third case, case number 3. In third case, the modulus of R is greater than 1. Means R can be positive or negative, but when you put it under modulus, its value becomes greater than 1, positive and greater than 1. So whenever modulus of R is greater than 1, sum of n terms of a GP becomes A bracket R raised to n minus 1 upon R minus 1. Now you must be wondering that whether these three formulae are mandatory to remember. You have to remember three formulae for finding sum of n terms of a GP. Is it necessary? So according to me, this is not necessary. These three cases actually can be remembered with the help of a single formula, right? Any one of these three, not the first one, but any one of the second case and the third case are enough to find sum of n terms of a GP. So we will use, let's say, third case formula in all our questions, and still we will find the answers. We are going to use this formula and still we are going to find the answers. Right? So don't get confused with three different formulae. There are three different formulae for different cases. I will show you both the methods using the three different formulae in different cases, as well as using a single formula for any random case. We can still find the answer. So this is basically sum of n terms of a GP. Let's start with the solved examples. Okay, there are many questions which are not there. Now it starts. The question is, find the sum of 10 terms of the series 96 minus 48 plus 24 and so on. Please understand here that the series is given with plus and minus sign. You can convert this series into a sequence, right? So you can write this series as 96 comma minus 48 comma 24 comma and so on. So this is your sequence. Now what is the first term of the sequence? A, 96. What is the common ratio? Common ratio is second term divided by first term. Now we know that we get minus 1 by 2 on dividing them. So when you multiply minus 1 by 2 with 96, you get minus 48. When you multiply minus 1 by 2 with minus 48, you get 24 and so on. Right? So on dividing second term by the first term, you get common ratio. And n is 10. You have to find the sum of 10 terms. Okay. Now let me draw your attention to the value of r. What is mod of r? Mod of r is nothing but mod of minus 1 by 2, which is 1 by 2. Anything you put inside the mod becomes positive. So mod of r is plus 1 by 2. Now what is plus 1 by 2? Here 1 by 2 or plus 1 by 2 is smaller than 1. That is mod of r is smaller than 1. Mod of r is smaller than 1. If mod of r is smaller than 1, then which case will you use? You will use, please check your notes. You must have noted down the formulae. Check your notes. If mod of r is smaller than 1, the formula of sum of n terms becomes a bracket 1 minus r raised to n upon 1 minus r. This is the second case, right? Let's apply this case and find the answer, and then we can apply the third case also and find the same answer. I will show you that. So sum of 10 terms is equal to a, which is 96 bracket 1 minus, what is r? R is minus 1 by 2, right? So you will write minus 1 by 2 the whole raised to n is 10, the whole upon 1 minus 1 by 2, 1 minus 1 by 2. Let's simplify this. So this will become 96 bracket 1, okay, minus 1 by 2 raised to 10. Now whenever the power is even, the negative sign can get cancelled out. because minus sign multiplied with itself even number of times gives you a positive number. So we can directly write it as 1 upon 2 raised to 10. 1 upon 2 raised to 10. The whole upon 1 plus 1 by 2. Right? So sum of 10 terms is equal to 96 bracket. You can take LCM here. So it will become 2 raised to 10 minus 1 the whole upon 2 raised to 10. Correct? The whole upon 1 plus 1 by 2. What is 1 plus 1 by 2? It is 3 by 2. Simplify this further. Multiply 96 in the numerator. 2 raised to 10 minus 1 the whole upon 2 raised to 10 the whole upon 3 by 2. So this 3 will come down. Sorry, this 2 raised to 10 will come down, multiply down, and this 2 will get multiplied in the numerator. So sum of 10 terms will become 96 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 raised to 10 minus 1 the whole upon 2 raised to 10 into 3. Right? So now just you have to simplify this. So 3 3s are 9, 3 2s are 6. Correct? So we get 32 over here. Now if you see what is 32, you can get an answer out of it. 32 is 2 raised to 5. 2 2s are 4, 2s are 8, 2s are 16, 2s are 32. 2 raised to 5 into 2 bracket 2 raised to 10 minus 1. I'm not finding 2 raised to 10 yet. I will find it. Wait, I will find it. So 2 raised to 10 remains as it is in the denominator. Let's find it further. So this will become 2 raised to 5 into 2. That is 2 raised to 6. Right? A raised to m into a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. Bracket 2 raised to 10 minus 1 the whole upon 2 raised to 10. Right? Now what? Now see how I simplify this. Therefore sum of 10 terms is equal to, what I will do is I will write 2 raised to 6 upon 2 raised to 10 separately. 2 raised to 6 upon 2 raised to 10 separately, and then in the bracket I'm going to write 2 raised to 10 minus 1. Correct? Okay, now if I simplify 2 raised to 6 upon 2 raised to 10, it will become 2 raised to 6 minus 10. That is 2 raised to minus 4 into 2 raised to 10 minus 1. Can I multiply 2 raised to minus 4 inside? Maybe it becomes easier. So 2 raised to 10 into 2 raised to minus 4 minus 2 raised to minus 4. So 2 raised to 10 into 2 raised to minus 4 is 2 raised to 10 plus minus 4. That is 2 raised to 10 minus 4. That is 2 raised to 6 minus 2 raised to minus 4. Now I think we can directly put the values and simplify this. So 2 raised to 6. What is 2 raised to 6? 32 2s are 64. Right? 64 minus 2 raised to minus 4. So that is 1 upon 2 raised to 4. That is 1 upon 16. So if you want, you can take LCM and simplify it further and find the answer. What I've done is I've avoided multiplication throughout, but now there is no other chance. So you can do 64 minus 16 by taking LCM, and your final answer becomes 1023 upon 16, which is 6315 by 16. So this is how you find sum of 10 terms using the formula. Now you must be wondering, what if we use the third formula, case 3 formula? Could we still get the answer, the same answer? Let's try. Let's try and check. If we use the formula for case 3, what would have the answer been? Okay, now the formula for case 3 is S of n is equal to a bracket r raised to n minus 1 upon r minus 1. This is the case 3 formula. Okay, now what is the value of a? 96 bracket minus 1 by 2, which is r raised to 10 minus 1, the whole upon minus 1 by 2 minus 1. So 96 bracket minus 1 by 2 raised to 10 is 1 upon 2 raised to 10 minus 1, the whole upon minus 1 by 2 minus 1 is minus 3 by 2. So 96 bracket 1 minus 2 raised to 10 upon 2 raised to 10, the whole upon minus 3 by 2. Right? So you can take the 2 in the numerator and it will look like this: 2 into 96 bracket 1 minus 2 raised to 10, the whole upon 2 raised to 10, correct, the whole upon minus 3. Now minus 3 would directly cut with 96, and what would it give? Minus 32. Minus 32 into 2 is minus 64 bracket 1 minus 2 raised to 10, the whole upon 2 raised to 10, right? So what is minus 64? Minus 64 is minus of 2 raised to 6. No, but there is a minus sign. So what you do is you multiply this minus sign inside. So it becomes 64 bracket 2 raised to 10 minus 1 upon 2 raised to 10. Now you got a similar situation in the previous question. Here what I have done, I have taken r minus 1. Okay, so my denominator was negative and this bracket was also negative. But when the negative sign from the denominator came into the numerator, okay, this negative sign got multiplied in the bracket and the bracket also became positive. So if you solve this further, let me show you one more step maybe. So 2 raised to 6 bracket 2 raised to 10 minus 1 upon 2 raised to 10. Here you will get 2 raised to 6 minus 10, that is 2 raised to minus 4. You can write it as 2 raised to 10 minus 1 upon 2 raised to 4. And then when you simplify this, you will get 2 raised to 6 minus 1 upon 2 raised to 4, or 64 minus 1 upon 16, which will give you the same answer, 1023 upon 16, or 6315 by 16. So even if you take case 3 formula here, after solving everything you get the same answer, right? But because this formula is given in your textbook, that is mod of r wala formula is given in your textbook, you have to solve with the formula given in the textbook. That is, depending upon what is the value of mod of r, you have to choose the formula. If mod of r is smaller than 1, then a bracket 1 minus r raised to n upon 1 minus r formula should be chosen, otherwise the other formula, case 3 formula. And if r is equal to 1, then we know sum of n terms is equal to n into a, case 1 formula, right? So this is how you have to find sum of n terms of a GP. That was question number. Here the number is wrong. We have done question number 13 right now. Let's go to the next question. Find the sum of 8 terms of the GP, 3 plus 6 plus 12 plus 24. Okay, let's convert this sequence into a series. 3, 6, 12, 24. So the first term is 3. The common ratio is 6 by 3, which is 2. Let's confirm. 3 2s are 6, 2s are 12, 2s are 24. Common ratio is correct, right? Sum of 8 terms, so n is equal to 8. Sum of 8 terms, we don't know. Okay, so how do we find the sum of 8 terms? Sum of 8 terms is equal to, can you tell me what is mod of r here? Mod of r is mod of 2, which is 2, which is greater than 1. Therefore, mod of r is greater than 1. Which formula to use when mod of r is greater than 1? A bracket r raised to n minus 1. That is the third case, I think. Okay. So A, what is A? 3 bracket r raised to n minus 1. That is 2 raised to 8. N is 8 minus 1. Correct? Upon r minus 1. 2 minus 1. Okay. So 3 bracket 2 raised to 8 minus 1. Now what is 2 raised to 8? Let's find out. Multiply 2 with itself 8 times. 2 2s are 4, 2s are 8, 2s are 16, 2s are 32, 2s are 64, 2s are 128, 2s are 256. So that is 2 raised to 8. So 2 raised to 8 is 256 minus 1 upon 2 ones are, 2 minus 1 is 1. So sum of 8 terms is 3 into 255. 3 into 255 is 765. Right? So very easy. This question was very easy, very simple. Now you have understood the concept of finding sum of n terms of a GP. Let's go to the next question. Find the sum of the geometric series 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 8 up to 12 terms. Same thing. First A, 1. Then R. R will be second term divided by first term, which is 1 by 2. What is n? 12. What you have to find? Sum of 12 terms. Can you tell me what is mod of r? Mod of r is mod of 1 by 2, which is 1 by 2, and therefore mod of r is smaller than 1. So we will use the second case. Right? So what is sum of n terms? Sum of n terms will be a bracket 1 minus r raised to n upon 1 minus r. So sum of 12 terms is equal to a, which is 1, bracket 1 minus r, which is 1 by 2, the whole raised to n, which is 12, the whole upon 1 minus 1 by 12. 1 minus 1 by oh, I'm sorry, 1 minus 1 by 2 it is, because r is 1 by 2. Okay, let's solve this. This will become 1 minus 1 by 2 raised to 12 upon 1 minus 1 by 2 is nothing but 1 by 2. So it will be 2 raised to 12 minus 1, the whole upon 2 raised to 12, the whole upon 1 by 2. Okay, 2 raised to 12 comes down and this 2 goes up. There will be many multiple fractions you will be coming across. Please be careful in finding the sum of n terms. So 2 bracket 2 raised to 12 minus 1, the whole upon 2 raised to 12. Okay, let's multiply 2 into 2 raised to 12. I'll multiply that 2 inside the bracket, minus 2 into 1, the whole upon 2 raised to 12. So 2 into 2 raised to 12 is 2 raised to 13 minus 2 upon 2 raised to 12. See what we can do over here. Just find the value and put it. Nothing else can be done. Nothing else can be done. You just have to find the value and put it inside. Okay. So 2 raised to 13 is 2 multiplied by itself 13 times. And if you carry out the multiplication, you will find the answer 8192 minus 2 upon 2 raised to 12. Now 2 raised to 12 is 4096. 4096. So we have got 8192 minus 2, that is 8190 upon 4096. Now you can bring it into lowest terms. First divided by 2. So 8190 divided by 2 will give you 4095. And 4096 divided by 2 will give you 2048. Now they cannot be divided further. They don't have any common factor. So convert them into mixed fraction. So if you divide 2048 by, if you divide 4095 by 2048, 2048 ones will be 2048, because 2048 twos will be greater than 4095, right? So it will become 12047 upon 2048. This is the final answer. Let's go ahead. This was question number 15th. Let's go question number 16. Okay. Find the sum of 10 terms of a geometric progression 1 plus root 3 plus 3 plus 3 root 3 and so on. Can you tell me what is the first term over here? 1. What is the common ratio? Okay, first let's convert this sequence into a series. 1 root 3, 3, 3 root 3 and so on, right? So common ratio is root 3 divided by 1, which is root 3. Can you tell me what is mod of r here? Mod of root 3, which is nothing but root 3. Is root 3 greater than 1 or smaller than 1? Of course it is greater than 1. The value of root 3 is 1.732. So mod of r is greater than 1. Third case. What do you have to find? You have to find the sum of 10 terms. N is equal to 10, and sum of any 10 terms you have to find. So you will use the formula of sum of n terms, which is equal to a bracket r raised to n minus 1 upon r minus 1. Sum of 10 terms is equal to a, that is 1, bracket r raised to n. R is root 3. The whole raised to n. N is 10. Minus 1. The whole upon root 3 minus 1. Now see this, we can solve this with a very easy method. In the numerator, I can write it as root 3 raised to 10 minus 1 raised to 10. Why am I writing like this? I'm writing like this because 1 or 1 raised to 10 will give you the same answer, that is 1. The whole upon root 3 minus 1. Okay, how can I further simplify this? Can I write this as root 3 the whole square, the whole raised to 5 minus 1 raised to 5 the whole upon root 3 minus 1. You know why I'm writing like this? Because 2 raised to 5, any root 3 raised to 2 raised to 5 is root 3 raised to 10. And 1 raised to 10 and 1 raised to 5 are the same things. Right? So this is nothing but root 3 square is 3 raised to 5 minus 1 raised to 5 upon root 3 minus 1. Now I'm going to rationalize the denominator. So sum of 10 terms becomes 3 raised to 5 minus 1 raised to 5 the whole upon root 3 minus 1 multiplied by root 3 plus 1 root 3 plus 1 is equal to root, I'm sorry about that, 3 raised to 5 minus 1 into root 3 plus 1 the whole upon root 3 square minus 1 square. So 3 raised to 5 minus 1. 3 raised to 5. What is 3 raised to 5? 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. 5 times. 3 3s are 9, 3s are 27, 3s are 81, 3s are 243. So 243 minus 1 into root 3 plus 1 upon root 3 square is 3 minus 1 square is 1. So this becomes 242 bracket root 3 plus 1 the whole upon 2. 2 and 242 gets cut 121. So the final answer, you don't have to put it in points, okay? In GP, you can leave the final answer in roots and in fractions. 121 bracket root 3 plus 1. This is the final answer. So even if you have roots in your geometric progression, you can find the sum of n terms. So that was question number 16. Let's try the next question. How many terms of the GP 2 by 9 minus 1 by 3, 1 by 2 must be added to get the sum equal to 55 by 72? How many terms of this GP must be added to get the sum equal to 55 by 72? Okay, let's try to get the answer. Now we already know the GP. What is the first term of the GP? 2 by 9. What is the common ratio? Minus 1 by 3 divided by 2 by 9. 3 comes down, 9 goes up. So it will become minus 9 by 3 into 2, which is minus 3 by 2. This is your common ratio. You've got the first term, you've got the common ratio. You have got the sum of n terms, which is 55 by 72. You know you have to find n. How many terms? How many terms means n. So let me ask you here, what is mod of r? Mod of r is mod of minus 3 by 2, which is 3 by 2. So therefore, mod of r is greater than 1. Mod of r is greater than 1. If mod of r is greater than 1, then we can use the third case. So sum of n terms is equal to a bracket r raised to n minus 1 upon r minus 1. Sum of n terms 55 by 72. First term a is 2 by 9. Bracket r raised to n. R is minus 3 by 2. Raised to n we don't know. Minus 1. The whole upon r minus 3 by 2 minus 1. So 55 by 72 is equal to 2 by 9 bracket minus, I cannot do anything to this, so I will keep it as it is, minus 3 by 2 raised to n minus, see, the best we can do over here is, I'll show you what to do. Wait. The best we can do over here is minus 3 raised to n minus 2 raised to n upon 2 raised to n. Take an LCM. That's the best we can do. Right? Okay, the whole upon minus 3 minus 2 upon 2. LCM over here also. Let's simplify this. We'll need some more space here. 55 by 72 is equal to. So, you know what will happen? In the numerator, we'll have 2 bracket minus 3 raised to n minus 2 raised to n. And one more 2 from the denominator will go and multiply over there. And in the denominator, we'll have 9 into 2 raised to n into minus 3 minus 2 is minus 5. Let's write all of them together. So 2 multiplied by 2 bracket minus 3 raised to n minus 2 raised to n the whole upon 9 into 2 raised to n into minus 5. That's something what we have got. Now there is no other way to solve this but doing cross multiplication. Or what we can do is we can bring all the terms with n together and simplify them. Yeah, because that's the only sane thing which I think if we wouldn't have taken the LCM, then it would have been better, but it's okay. We can now we can solve this. See how 55 multiplied by 9 multiplied by minus 5 the whole upon 2 into 2 into 72. You understood what I did here? I brought the numbers from right hand side to the left hand side. And what will be remaining over here? Minus 3 raised to n minus 2 raised to n upon 2 raised to n. We can simplify this. Before that, we can just cut this. 9 8s are. That's it. Nothing else can be cut. So 55 5s are. Okay, 55s are 2 minus 275 upon 2 2s are 4 8s are 32. Okay, so this is what we are getting on the left hand side. Here minus 3 raised to n upon 2 raised to n minus 2 raised to n upon 2 raised to n. Okay, let's continue over here. So minus 275 upon 32 is equal to minus 3 by 2 the whole raised to n minus 1. Let's take minus 1 to the other side. Minus 275 upon 32 plus 1 is equal to minus 3 by 2 the whole raised to n. So minus 275 plus 32 upon 32 is equal to minus 3 by 2 the whole raised to n. Now it's getting nearer to the end. So minus 275 plus 32. So what if I subtract 32 from 275? I get 3 here, 4 here, and 2. So it's minus 243. Minus 243 upon 32. Okay. Just a moment. Okay, minus 243. What is minus 243? It is 81 threes. So 3 raised to 5. Correct? So minus 3 raised to 5. And what is 32? 2 raised to 5 is equal to minus 3 by 2 the whole raised to n. So minus 3 by 2 the whole raised to 5 is equal to minus 3 by 2 the whole raised to n. Now the bases are same, minus 3 by 2. So the powers must be equal because there is an equal to sign in between the exponents here. Therefore n is equal to 5. So sum of first 5 terms is equal to 55 by 72 in the given GP. So this is how you solve this question. It was a very interesting question, and see, if you don't see the full video, you will never get the idea of where you are making a mistake, because by seeing each and every step and understanding them in detail, then only you will understand that how the question has to be solved. Question number 18. Find the sum of the GP 2, 6, 18, 54 up to 4374. So what is the series here? 2, 6, 18, 54 up to 4374. What is the first term of the series? 2. What is the common ratio? 6 by 2, which is 3. What is the last term of the GP? 4374, which can also be called as nth term. How many terms are there in the GP? We don't know, but we know the nth term, so we can find the number of terms. What we have to find? Sum of n terms. Correct? So how will we proceed? First, we'll use the formula for nth term. Nth term is equal to a into r raised to n minus 1. That's the formula for nth term of a GP. What is nth term? The last term, 4374. What is a? The first term, 2 multiplied by what is r? 3 raised to n minus 1. Cannot do anything about this right now. 4374 divided by 2 is equal to 3 raised to n divided by 3 raised to 1, because 3 raised to n minus 1, if you apply the identity a raised to m minus n is equal to a raised to m upon a raised to n. Same thing I've done here. So it gives you 3 raised to n is equal to 4374 multiplied by 3 divided by 2. So if you solve this, you will get the nth term as the value of n, I'm sorry, 3 raised to n. The value of n as 8. How? I'll tell you. This will give you a number which is 2187. Okay, after solving this, you'll get 2187. And if you do prime factorization of 2187, you can expect it to be in the power of 3, because 3 raised to n is equal to 2187, which is 3 raised to 7, and therefore n is equal to 7. So you got your n, that is number of terms. Now you have to find sum of n terms of a GP. Now here r is 3, so mod of r is greater than 1. Sum of n terms will be a bracket r raised to n minus 1 upon r minus 1, and sum of n terms, that is sum of 7 terms, is equal to 2 bracket 3 raised to 7. Hey, n minus 1 is, just a moment, I made a mistake here. N is 8, not 7. Okay, let me just rewrite here. 3 raised to 8. So n is 8. N is not 7, it is 8. I'm sorry. Okay. So 3 raised to 8 minus 1 upon 3 minus 1. Okay, so this can be written as 2 multiplied by 3 raised to 8 minus 1 upon 2, which gets cut. 3 raised to 8 we already know is, there is some mistake I have done in writing this number. Just a moment. It is 6516. I'm sorry for the mistake. Okay, it is 6516. 6516 is 3 raised to 8, and here I will get 6516 minus 1, that is 6515, which is, again I made a mistake. So this question is a jinx for me. I'm making mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. But it's okay, I'm not going to edit it out. Let everybody know that I also can make mistakes. 6561. 6561. And this will be 6561 minus 1. And that is 6560. That is sum of n terms of a GP. So in this question, what is the different thing which we have done? The thing which is little different from all the other sum is the last term was given, that was nth term, and then we found the value of n, and then we found the sum of n terms. Okay, that was question number 18. Let's move to question number 19. A GP has first term a is equal to 3, last term L is equal to 96, and sum of n terms S is equal to 189. Find the number of terms in it. So the first term is 3, last term is 96. Again, the question is similar to what we have done earlier. The first term is given, last term is given, and sum of n terms is given. We have to find the number of terms in it. Have they given common ratio? No, they have not given the common ratio. So in this case, let's see how we can find. They have, in solved examples, they have directly used the formula, a direct formula, which I don't want to give you. So if we suppose if we don't have the common ratio, how we can find it? So the first term is a, the last term L is a into r raised to n minus 1. Okay. Okay, and sum of n terms is given to you. Okay, let's find what is the last term. The last term is 96, we know that. Can we write it as a into r raised to n upon r raised to 1? That will give you r raised to n minus 1, right? Eventually, a into r raised to n minus 1, nth term. So What is the first term? 3. Yeah, we can find something with the help of this. So 96 is equal to 3 into r raised to n upon r raised to 1. Hmm. 96 divided by 3 is equal to r raised to n upon r raised to 1. 96 divided by 3 is 32. So r raised to n minus 1 is 32, or r raised to n is r into 32, 32r, 32r. R raised to n is 32r. And what is r? We don't know. So we can keep r as r and r raised to n as 32r. Let's try now with the help of sum of n terms. We don't know the common ratio, right? So we can use any formula. Sum of n terms is equal to a bracket r raised to n minus 1 upon r minus 1, right? So this is the formula for sum of n terms. Now what is sum of n terms here? 189. What is a? 3. What is r raised to n? 32r, right? Minus 1 upon, what is r? We don't know. So r minus 1. Let's take 3 to that side. So 189 divided by 3 is equal to 32r minus 1 upon r minus 1. So 3 6 are 80, 3 3s are 9. So 63 bracket r minus 1 is equal to 32r minus 1. So 63r minus 63 is equal to 32r minus 1. So 63r minus 32, hang in there, we are going to get the answer, okay, is equal to 63 minus 1. 63r minus 32r. Okay, 63r minus 32r will be 31r. Is equal to 63 minus 1 is 62. So r is equal to 62 by 31, which is 2. We got r. And since we have got r, we can find the value of n. Okay, so how can we find the value of n? See, r raised to n is equal to 32r. So r raised to n is equal to 32 into, what is r? The value of r is 2. So r raised to n is equal to 64. R is 2. 2 raised to n is equal to 64. 2 raised to n is equal to 2 raised to 6. And therefore n is equal to 6. N is equal to 6. Yeah, we got the answer. So the idea which I used here is not according to the textbook. In the textbook, they have used a direct formula, which is LR minus A upon R minus 1. But what I did, I took the last term as the nth term and found a relationship between R raised to n and R. And then I used the relationship in sum of n terms. I replaced R raised to n in terms of R, and I let R minus 1 be as it is, and then simplified and solved for R, and then I found n, and the answer is correct. So this was solved example 19 from your textbook. Please go through this method once again. You will understand it better. Next question is question number 20, the last question and the last topic. Okay, so there are many questions which are not there now. sum of infinite terms of GP. You will study that in class 12th. Okay, before we go ahead, there is this question of geometric mean on your screen. So what is geometric mean? Let me write here, geometric mean. Geometric mean. If A and B are two positive numbers, if A and B are two positive numbers, then A, comma G and comma B are in GP. Okay, if A and B are two positive numbers, then A, comma G, comma B are in GP, which implies that G by A is equal to B by G. That means the common ratio is equal, which implies that G square is equal to AB, right? Or G is equal to root AB. What is G here? G is the geometric mean between A and B. G is said to be a geometric mean between A and B. So any three numbers, if they are in GP, then the middle one is the geometric mean of the first and the third. If three numbers are in GP, then the middle number is the geometric mean of the first and third. That means square of the middle number is equal to the product of first and third, or the middle number is equal to square root of the product of first and third. Okay, find the geometric mean between 3 and 12. What is the geometric mean between 3 and 12? Geometric mean between 3 and 12. So what we have to find? Geometric mean. So G is equal to under root of AB. What is A? 3. What is B? 12. That is under root of 36, which is 6. Right? So number 1, geometric mean between 3 and 12 is 6. What is the geometric mean between 3 and 243? 3 multiplied by 243 is 729, and root of 729 is 27. So geometric mean between 2 and 243 is 27. Very easy topic. The last topic, question number 20, the final solved example. Now you have just one exercise, 11D. I hope there is no other miscellaneous exercise after this. So please complete this exercise, and GP is finished. So now we are ready to start with physics. We have completed total 9 chapters of mathematics, right? And that's quite few chapters. So we should do physics and chemistry now, at least 3 chapters each of both in May. So we'll be in a very good condition at the beginning of June. And also the tests are beginning very soon, so you have to prepare for that. You have to keep on practicing. I've given you a daily practice work also. So please finish the remaining exercises, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye bye.